What would you do if a zombie apocalypse was happening around you? Usually, people run for their lives or get traumatized, but for some reason, Akira is filled with joy and excitement. But why is he though? Let's go a little back. Akira Tendo just started working at a company, and he's full of excitement for this job. Still, he had to stay overnight from the beginning and couldn't go home for 2 days. In the following months, he experienced lots of hardships. Long hours of work, a shitty department chief, and customers who make him do something over and over. With all of these hardships, he still has one hope, Miss Otori. He had a crush on her for a long time, and this made him hopeful to come to work, but all of it was shattered when he saw she was the mistress of the CEO. Days pass by, and his condition gets worse every day, until one day, he notices something. Zombies are spreading around everywhere. Akira is terrified and runs for his life, but after a few moments, this feeling changes to excitement because he doesn't have to go to work anymore. He's full of energy, and for the first time in years, the world is not gloomy and he can see colors. When Akira gets to a safe place, he thinks about everything he wanted to do, such as skydiving and getting his motorcycle license till he remembers about Miss Otori. Now that the situation is like this, he doesn't care if she's the side chick of CEO, and rushes towards her house to confess his feelings. When he arrives, he's faced with the CEO, who's turned into a zombie. Akira gives his resignation by pushing him out the window. Then he's faced with Miss Otori, who's also turned into a zombie. Akira tells her how he completely fell in love with her from the moment he met her, then runs out, saying goodbye to his first love. After all of that, Akira understands how short life is, so he decides to make a list of 100 things he wants to do before turning into a zombie. Now that he's motivated again, he starts cleaning his room that looks like mine, and starts drinking beer in the daytime, calling it a heaven, but I'm not sure other people would agree that this is heaven. He drinks a little bit, then realizes he's out of beer, and has to get some in this situation. On the way out, he encounters a couple trapped in their house. They're terrified at first, but offer him to stay there because momentarily it's safe. But he says he's actually going to convenience store, and says he's going to bring some stuff for them as well. Then rushes out on a bike, and even though zombies are everywhere, achieving his goal keeps him motivated. He finally reaches the store, singing a ridiculous song, and meets a pretty girl. He tries to start a conversation with her and share contact information, but she ignores him, then tells him by teaming up, her chance of survival is gonna lower. At this moment, zombies try to attack them. Akira wants to shield her, but she pulls him back, saving him from a truck hit, and runs away. Akira's bike is destroyed in the accident, so he looks around for something else and finds a motorcycle, and on the way home, he finds an even better one, and shows some nice moves. After reaching back, he wants to invite the neighbors, but it seems like zombies entered their house, and they're gone, and the only thing Akira can do is to go home, and write down some wishes while drinking. On the other hand, the girl's life is entirely different from Akira's. She starts the day by doing exercises and following news, then tries to get information by watching lots of zombie movies, analyzing zombies' behavior, marking dangerous zones, and unlike Akira, who's goofing around, she's making a list of 100 things to do to survive. A few days later, Akira's phone finally receives signals. He thinks about calling someone, but he's not sure who to call, until remembers Kencho. Kencho was his friend in college, who made him laugh all the time, and hung out with him in times of need. Right now, Kencho is stuck in a hotel room surrounded by zombies and only drank water for 3 days. He's hopeless and tired, until Akira calls him and asks his location to come and save him. He quickly rushes there, and puts a car honking. Not only this attracts the zombies, it also saves someone on the verge of death. With this, Kencho can finally come out of the room, and meet Akira in the hallway. He bursts in tears, saying Kencho was right, and he had to quit that exploitative company. Then starts apologizing for being jealous, and taking out his anger on him before. Because of his loud voice, zombies get attracted and start chasing them. They run to the rooftop, and close the door momentarily, but they have to find a way out. Akira decides to jump to the next building. Kencho says it's too far, but Akira doesn't care. He starts running and jumps and barely lands on the rooftop covered in blood. Now it's Kencho's turn to jump, but he's too scared. Before his end, he confesses that he was always pretending, and that he didn't like his job. He had to convince people to sign bad contracts, and he's so sorry that he was such an awful person. Kencho always wanted to make people have fun, and his dream job was to become a stand-up comedian, so Akira tells him to quit right now, and just go for it. Hearing this, Kencho finds the courage to jump, but for some reason, he goes full berserk mode, and takes off all his clothes. Akira laughs so hard he starts crying, but eventually goes to help his friend before falling down. At night, they start laughing and bonding just like old days, and Kensho tells Akira how amazing he was today, and that he might be able to actually save humanity from this situation. Now that they're reunited, they decide to live together. Kensho cooks lunch, and Akira is surprised by his cooking skills. Kensho says it's no big deal, and you better know how to cook or you won't get a girlfriend. He gets pissed and says he'll get one today, but there is a little problem. After lunch, Kensho thanks him for saving his life and wants to be a part of the adventures to fulfill his wish list. So Akira tells him he wants a widescreen TV. They go to find one, but the road is closed, and a truck is coming their way. He looks around, and decides to go into the underground mall. He goes at full speed, and in an incredible explosion scene, he barely manages to enter. Still, the mall is also full of zombies, but they tend to find a shop and enter it. In there, they see other survivors. They're hesitant at first, but eventually invite them to eat together. This looks like they're whining and dining, so Kensho and Akira introduce themselves. The girls are Reika, Maki and Yukari, and they are flight attendants. Akira is on the moon, because one of his wishes was to wine and dine with flight attendants. He tries to talk with Yukari, but he's not a smooth talker, so he wants to get help from Kensho, but he's flirting with Maki and wishes him luck. Akira feels completely busted, so he tries to show off by drinking, but ends up throwing up in the bathroom. Yukari is worried about him, and tries to help. For a brief moment, he thinks he might have a chance, but it gets shattered when Yukari says she has a boyfriend. On the other hand, it looks like the old man was bitten before, and he turns into a zombie and turns Reika into a zombie as well. Reika finds Kensho and Maki, starts attacking them, and bites Maki. Kensho defends himself, hitting her with a suitcase, but he can't find the old man. Akira and Yukari are talking about their awful experiences at their jobs and how hard it was, until suddenly, the old man jumps and grabs Yukari. Akira tries to save her and punches the zombie, but it's too late for Yukari. She tells him to get going, and shields herself against the zombie so he can run away. He goes to find Kensho, and is surprised that even in this situation while being chased by Maki, he still managed to find a widescreen TV. They carry it on the motorcycle and get back to their place. Akira thinks about everything that happened, and how people were talking about their dreams, so he also decides to follow his childhood dream. When he was a kid, he wanted to become a superhero and help others without wanting anything in return, and to fulfill this, they go to an aquarium where even animals are turned into zombies. Akira finds the shark suit, a special suit made for cleaning tanks that even shark bites can't penetrate. Using this suit, he guides people into the aquarium and fights with zombies, but the problem is that even though their bites can't pierce the suit, he can still feel the pain. It takes a lot of time to defeat zombies, and he finally comes into the aquarium. He meets the girl whom he saw in the convenience store, and starts talking to her. She says what's the benefit of saving people? And this costume and acting like a superhero comes from low self-esteem and the lack of self-worth. Kensho tries to defend him, but she goes on and on about how he didn't analyze the danger and how he put his close people in danger. While they're talking, they hear an explosion. Akira and Kensho go to check it, and a zombie shark with legs shows up and chases them. They try to run away, but face another horde of zombies. The shark eats all of them, and they get a chance to run away, and one of the girls who is so scared, throws the analyzer girl on the ground. Akira notices she's missing, and immediately goes to save her. He lands on Shark with a Superman jump, and easily falls down, but it's enough to distract it and save her. While they're running, she thinks of a plan. Shark's head is sensitive to electricity and they can use this, but she needs Akira to buy some time. Akira runs around to get the shark's attention, and tries to waste some time. Still, the shark's attacks get fiercer every time, and his suit gets exposed, but the girl finally brings batteries so Akira can land the finishing blow and take down the shark. On the way back, Akira wants the girl to join them, but she bluntly refuses because he put Kensho in danger to save a complete stranger. Akira says he saved her because she's important to him. She's impressed and, even though doesn't come along, agrees to share contact information, and he finally gets her name, Shizuka Mikazuki. After that, they go to fool around and show off with expensive watches, and at some point, they realize they're going out of resources and have to do something. Akira decides to go to his hometown because it's a remote place, and it's probably not infected. Kensho packs food, water and necessary things, while Akira just gets a squirt gun and a gaming console. For going there, Akira is so excited and decides to get an RV, because it's the best for moving around and safety against zombies. They go to a camping car show, and see Shizuka there. Akira thinks it's fate, and asks her to come along again, but she refuses once again, but since she can't drive, she has no choice other than to accept. While going in, Akira and Kencho get so excited to see all these cars. They're having so much fun looking at different RVs, and enjoying the beauty. At the same time, Shizuki wants to get something safer for this situation. They argue about which car to pick until suddenly, zombies show up, and they have to quickly hop on a car and leave immediately. While going out of town, everyone is thinking about what the future will be like until suddenly, they encounter a spike strip, which causes Kencho to get injured. In front of them, Akira's former boss is standing with a bunch of people. He offers to give medical help and change their car tires, but in return, Akira should do some work for him. His trauma gets back, and he's terrified, but seeing no other choice, he agrees with the conditions. His boss explains the work and says it's not much of a big deal, but people look so exhausted. While Kencho is getting medical treatment, Akira is doing some hard labor. After moving boxes, he decides to cool some beer so everyone can enjoy them, which causes his boss to get angry. He starts scolding Akira, but in the middle of it, others come and see the beers. They get happy about the beers, and seeing the situation, the chief says he asked Akira to do this and wanted to show his gratitude. Then, he tells Akira that just like these zombies that have no will and are usable as equipment, he should be just like them. Will Akira have to suffer just like his old work days? Stay tuned for the next video to find out.